Guys, ignore this new cursor I made here. It's just for making the video and showing it to you. As everyone can see here, I already have a new class. This class is quite different from the others. You can see. It's the class that would be the support class usually in RPG games. It's the priest class or medic in some more realistic games, or priest. But I don't know exactly what name I'm going to give to this class yet, but it will follow this idea. The design is what you're seeing here, an all white outfit with kind of a different color and a little heart on the back, which is sort of the symbol. It will be a green heart to replace the famous red cross. But first I will show the functionalities of this class, and then later be able to show the new mechanics I put in the game, which now really the game is much more tactical than it was before, because before it was more of a little battle right at the beginning. It was very rudimentary. Now there are many more things. It was one of the things I added. It took me a while to... I can post this video here for you now because I was traveling and I didn't have much time to work on the game. But there was time to implement this new class and add many other mechanics. Some mechanics came with the class, these mechanics of positive effects. So let's start. Ignore the difficulty of this battle because I have a character with an absurd amount of health. This is so I won't die and can show everything there is to show here. So let's show something new here. As you can see, it has already changed a bit now. The design of the life bars is much simpler now. I thought that bar was too big with that large symbol here. And now the symbol will only appear when you really have some positive or negative effect. The abilities, the majority of the abilities are area abilities and affect both enemies and allies. Here are the parts of the game which include friendly fire and the part where you can accidentally buff your enemy as well. So I will click. He will charge the skill. Another new thing for those who noticed is the now text shows how much damage you dealt to the enemy, okay? When you attack, so I'm going to do a normal attack here. Look, it appeared, the text. Another new thing, okay? It seems like it happened very quickly here, but whenever you use a skill now, the character says the name of the skill they are using. So I used the skill here that created the effect of a physical damage block, which is that little wall for the enemy. So if I perform a physical attack on them, they will block this physical attack, okay? This effect lasted for a very short time, and there is not much chance of hitting, okay? It's more for specific circumstances, but you kind of become immune to all physical attacks during this time. So I'm going to do a physical attack here, okay? Here, look. He threw a stone, he said it, he throws a stone, let's strike here, look. He used an ether missile, the other new thing, look, you saw that it appeared here there, which is on the wall above his head in green when he lost the effect. And this same value appears in white when he gains the effect. It works for both positives and negatives. I'm going to see here, I'll buff everyone here, use another, and now the game is visually much better. Now everything the enemies are using is appearing. You can notice everything that is happening. I gave a bit of slowed down the pace. Everything was happening too fast. It was hard to understand properly. It's still fast, but the idea is for it to be fast. But this way it's a little better. So I'm going to attack. I use protection here. It works the same way, like Protect Shell in Final Fantasy Tactics. In various RPG games there are some abilities that do this kind of thing, and it is an ability purely to reduce the damage you take, so you can be reducing both physical and magical damage. In this case, the enemy only received the physical damage reduction. I received both. This is a chance occurrence. This one didn't receive any. It was very unlucky because the chance is quite high. There is a 70% chance for each one. These are independent chances, just like the block I used before. The block also has for physical and magical damage, but it has a chance for each. I'll use the block here again to see if it will happen. This one got both physical and magical, and this one here only got the physical damage block. Another skill, which to me is one of the most important skills to have in this type of class, which is the support class, is the revive skill. I will take advantage of my ally having died up there. I will walk up there, try to revive. Well, now I arrived here. I reached my ally, and now I will be able to use the skill of resurrection on them. There's a cast. I'll use revive. And these skills as a bonus. You can use this skill on a living ally. You do not need to use this skill on a dead ally. She has a chance to inflict a positive status on him. Here in Final Fantasy Tactics, it is re-raise. Here I kept that name, but I think the name is kind of bad, so I'll probably change the name as soon as I think of a better one. But for now, it still has this name here. The chance is quite small, that's why it didn't happen. A new thing I added. It happened here in these attacks now. It's the chance of hitting attacks. Before, all attacks hit. Now, as you can see, a miss appeared up here when I attacked him. When the enemy shot an arrow at me, you saw that the number appeared in yellow. When that happens, it's because it caused a critical hit. It wasn't much damage, but it was a critical hit. I will explain roughly why it wasn't much damage in a moment. Let's try again. Because they're erasing on me here, I'm not very lucky, but let's keep trying. Taking advantage of the fact that my character has a lot of health. I added a lot of health to him. You will probably see this somewhat sped up, because I will keep showing you me trying to get the skill and not succeeding. It might get a bit boring. That's it. It happened, erase. Now you see that I have these statuses up here, which is a heart. What is this erase? I'm going to get out of here to the enemies. You can attack him now. They are focusing on my main character who is closer to them, but I'm going to leave here to attack my ally now. Did you see that he died? Soon, both of them. You could see better now. It could be a miss here. He missed the attack on me. All the chances were added. You could see both the chance of giving positive status, also the chance of giving negative status was added, as much as the chance to hit, just like the chance to deal a critical hit. My character resurrected by himself. It's because he had that re-raise ability. It's the name I gave here, which is the same name as in Final Fantasy Tactics, which will probably change. But if he has that, if he dies with that status, I don't need to worry. As soon as it's his turn, he will resurrect. He already resurrects on his turn, so he resurrected. And I can play with him, so here I can already play with him. And what I was saying, that the game became much more tactical now. Besides all that I talked so far about being able to miss attacks. Now you have this chance, the chance to hit abilities. You have to be careful not to buff your enemies and not to hit your allies with area attacks. But there is also something that is extremely important for tactical games, which is positioning. So now, attacking enemies from the front, from behind, or from the sides matters. So, if you attack the enemy from the front, you cause a certain amount of damage. If you attack from behind, it causes more damage. From the side, you have the partial effect. So, I will attack this enemy here from the front, deal 8 damage. I will revive him. Here, now. With the same character, I will attack him from behind. I dealt 10 damage, and there is no variable damage, so that is the damage. If I attack from behind, again, with this character, it will cause 10. Another thing also is, if you attack the enemy, that is at a higher point or at a lower point than you. So if I attack the enemy, that is at a higher point, I have a reduced chance to hit. In the same way, if I attack from a higher point, I have this increased chance to hit. Also, if I attack from a higher point, I cause more damage. Essentially, let's attack from the side to see how much damage it will cause now. From the side, I caused 9. He was backed against the wall, got smarter, but wow. Try to pass the turn here. One thing also, you can resurrect enemies. That is not impossible. If you use the resurrect ability, the enemy will also work. It can be useful for some things, it's not totally useless. The ability is not area based, so you don't need to worry about resurrecting it like that. You might want to, only if you really want to. And when I say it can be useful, it's because I intend to introduce a function for you to gain experience as you perform actions. So maybe resurrecting an enemy and killing it again. It might be one advantage. You will gain experience by resurrecting the enemy and also by killing it again. So there you go. You can use it that way. It's not the best way, but it's a way. Let's attack him here. Let's test on this enemy here, since he's easier. I'll attack from the front first. 9 damage. Now let's attack from behind. It dropped a whole point here. This might cause some effect, but let's see the difference. I missed. Now it will be easier. I'll hit the same spot. You saw that I took 17 damage from that character because he's at a higher point. So he had an increase in damage. He is on the side. If you want to know if he is on the side or not, just look at the character's position. See that he is facing this side. Meanwhile, I'm facing this way, so his attack is considered a side attack. I moved to his back here. I had dealt 9 damage in the front. Let's see at the back. I missed. It happens. I didn't give much chance, but it happens. I'll stay at the back 10. It didn't increase that much, but depending on how much damage I have, the more damage I have, the greater this increase will be, because this increase is in percentage. I'm going to kill this character here, just so I can get another skill from him to show you. These aren't the only skills. First, I am going to use the healing ability, and it also has a cast time. I healed, area healing, but this healing, different from the healing I showed before. From the apprentice, it is a healing that varies according to your magical attack, whereas the apprentice's is a fixed healing. The apprentice also heals 10, but it's always 10, regardless of your status, so to show that it varies, I will increase my magic attack. This ability to increase magic attack is a disciple's ability. Increase it a few more times. I have increased it quite a bit here. Let's see how much it will heal now. Before it was healing 10, now 10. Let's see the healing. It's 14. Let's see that it increases according to the magical attack. Initially this healing is at 100% of the magical attack, so each buff I used increased by 1. I used the magic attack 4 times and it increased by 4. So I had 10, it went to 14 and I healed 14. You could see the healing skill. Let's also show the bleeding skill, which I had already shown. Now it is easier to see as well, because the bleeding ability causes less damage than a basic attack. That is one of the penalties of the ability. It is an ability that works instantly. It has no cast, it costs no mana, it deals damage, and still causes a negative effect. So there would be no reason for you to use a basic attack, and you could keep using this ability all the time, and to balance it well, so I made it cause less damage than a basic attack, but you have this chance to cause bleeding. Let's use it again. I cause bleeding. Now you saw, there is a effect a little better. Before it was a little ball. It was hard to see clearly because there was a frame before. Now it's just the effect. It still has the visual effect, and the bleeding works the same way. I will also show you some new abilities, since I have now added the positive effects. These are warrior abilities, which belong to this class here, of this character here. Let's go. I'm already here using a sword. It's changed already. And let's use Intimidate first. Intimidate is a ranged ability. I can use it within the magic skill range, which is this purple range. And it is a single target ability. Also no casting time. Its effect is weakening, Alasha, which would be to weaken, weakened. That has this little shield with the arrow pointing down, so it's a bit self-explanatory. From now on, this character takes more damage. Every source of damage that deals damage to him will inflict a bit more, so I will attack him here. I dealt 14 damage. As soon as the effect passes, I will make another attack. I will also use the other ability here. He encounters, while the effect doesn't wear off, which is the war cry. This war cry is an area attack, and it can only be used on the character itself, so he will use it. It will affect him and everyone around. When I say it's in this little cross shape here, these 4 parts, so I will use the war cry here. Hit base of them, gave this effect of a character running, which is the sprint, which is the run, and from now on these characters have much more movement range. Look how far I can run now. As long as I have this effect, I can run much more. I'm very far away, they won't be able to get close to me, and except of course for this other one, who's also sprinting, who's going to run the same way. Let's see how far they can go. See, halfway, very little. The effect wore off, so everyone remembers I dealt 13 damage in the front, 14 damage on the side. Let's go through the front here and deal another attack, 9 damage, so it increased a lot. 9 to 14. Let's test the attack again. I'll make a normal attack. 9. Now let's use Intimidate. Intimidate is 100% chance. You don't need to worry. He doesn't cause damage, but he has a 100% chance to cause Intimidate. Passing the turn here, I had caused 9 damage. Now I will cause 13 to cause more damage here. Let's go behind him. Let's see how much I will cause. 16. So I dealt 16 damage, a character I used to deal 9, using a bit of tactics, using skill to inflict more damage, and attacking from behind. I increased the damage a lot, almost doubled. From 9 to 16, increased by 7 damage, so it's a lot. If I caused a critical hit, it would increase even more, and if by any chance if it had increased in relation to it, it would increase even more, until reaching a point of more than doubling the damage I caused to the enemy, just by using the new game tactics, right? Trying here, taking advantage of this, to do something to cause a lot of damage to some character, okay? So let's see. First, I will give an Intimidate, and I'll try to come from behind and do an Ether Strike. It's a move that causes more damage than the basic attack, right? So let's see how much damage. 34. Look, I dealt 34 damage, and it dealt a critical hit too, so that was one of the highest damages that could be caused here. And I plan to create new classes. It's as time goes by, because creating a class takes a little time due to the creation of the art, but by doing it gradually, I intend to have plenty of classes to have a lot of variety, okay? Since a great part of character building comes from the classes, and I intend to add new classes, new abilities, new mechanics, much more variety of scenarios, of enemies. That will come with time. And I thank everyone who is commenting, who is liking, who is enjoying. Keep it up. It helps me a lot. It also helps with engaging the video, reaching more people with the game, people who like this type of game, and that's really good, because when the game is released, more people will get to know it and more people will be able to play it, right? Even though I'm doing this as a dream that I have, the more people can play the game, people who like this kind of game, the better. So, thank you very much to everyone. For those who haven't watched the other videos, right? This is already the 5th video about this game. There's a playlist on the channel, okay? Showing everything from the very beginning, and this is already the 5th one. It's been over a month, right? A month and 2 weeks that I've been making this game, considering that some weeks I couldn't work on it, and this is how it is currently, okay? It's growing, that's it. Thank you very much to everyone who is following, like, share, and goodbye.